What is happening, e-skaters? Nate from eSkate Hub here, and today I've got a really exciting electric skateboard review for you today. It's from Meepo. They have been around for as long as the e-skate industry has been around, pretty much. They make great products, and today we are looking at the Meepo City Rider 2. That's right, it's a brand new electric skateboard. It's only just been released, and this is not a Meepo NLS belt review. I'm really excited about this board because it has urban terrain wheels on them, and I love a good bit of off-road riding. Before we get started, I just want to mention I've got a giveaway going on at the moment. Those orangutan wheels up there, I'm giving away a set to one lucky e-skater out there. There are two ways to enter. The first is by going to my X-Way Flex review and checking out the details in there. And the second way to enter is by commenting below with an emoji that represents how you feel about the Meepo City Rider 2. And you can use as many emojis as you want. Get creative, make it fun, and let me know what you think. And yes, if you comment on both videos, you get 2 entries into the competition. And the last thing to remember is that you have to be subscribed to eSkate Hub on YouTube to be eligible to win. All right, e-skaters, let's get straight into the Meepo City Rider 2 electric skateboard review. Woo-hoo! All right, so first up we've got some stickers. Check out them stickers. What do we got? These are kind of cool. I like, this is my favorite, this Meepo one right here. And we have just some product information about using the M4 remotes and the City Rider. A few warnings: always wear a helmet. Yes, please always wear a helmet. Braking downhill on a full battery may cause failure of brake. That's just like a lot of electric skateboards out there. Wow. I do like that all these bolts are coming through the deck. Thank you, Meepo, for listening. Let's see what else we got in the box. Okay. Classic T-tool. That is the remote. Huge M4 remote. Charging brick, which is huge as well. 50.4 volts, 3 amps. That's gonna be a pretty fast charge. Holy, check this out. Got a full spanner, 17 mils. I wonder if they're sending that with every single board, and why would we need it? It's for the wheels. And another set of accessories. Hey, that's cool. I'm a Meepo fanboy. What should I do? Their website or their branding? Some charging cables for the remote. This is pretty nice. It's got the threaded cable, and it's a 3-way charger with all different types. USB-C, micro USB, and lightning to regular USB. 2 different hex Allen keys, an XT50 cable for a charging port, and a cable for a charging port as well. I don't know if any Meepo board purchaser ever uses these. If you do, let me know in the comments below. And lastly, we've got some business cards. So let's take a look at the Meepo City Rider 2. I love this deck shape. It's just like the old Meepo City Rider, if I remember correctly. I didn't actually have one, so it's going to be hard for me to compare. All I've got is just images and other reviews that I've seen online. I like these handles. What I like about them is that they're not cut out of the deck. The deck strength isn't compromised, but you still have a nice rigid handle to hang on to on both sides, and it's made of metal. It's got the Meepo branding on the side of them. It just feels fantastic. It's a drop-through deck, so the board sits much closer to the ground and lowers your center of gravity, making it a lot more stable while you're riding. The grip tape is a little bit unstuck in some places, but it does have a W-shaped concave. I like that about a board because it gives you ultimate control when you're riding, especially when turning and hanging onto the board at high speeds. At the time of recording this review, the Meepo City Rider 2 hasn't yet been released. They had a page on their website, and the price that was up for was $899. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be the price when it is finally released. If it does change, I'll update the price in the description below, so make sure you check that out. Let's take a look at these trucks. They are not shredder trucks. They're very wide. How wide are they? The trucks are 390mm wide, and the wheelbase is 830. That's in mils. I'll convert that into inches for you folk. That's quite a wide wheelbase, lengthways and widthways. So hopefully that gives us a lot of stability when we're riding this thing. We've got 100A bushings, barrel on the top and the bottom, and the rear trucks are pretty much the same. There's some zip ties hanging onto these cables. The cables are quite see-through, but Meepo have assured me that there is waterproofing coating on them, but they also say they don't recommend riding in the wet. It's got two enclosures, one for the ESC, which looks pretty big actually. There could be two ESCs in there. And the second is for the battery, which is also quite big. I would be interested to see what kind of battery's in there. Why don't we whack it out and have a look anyway. What do we have here? Oh, that's nice. It's got a massive gasket around it. That's also got a gasket around the ESC to help with the waterproofing. 12S 3P 18650 cells, Samsung 35E, running at a capacity of 10.5 amp hours, 453.6 watt hours, with a charge voltage of 50.4, which we saw in the charger. That's huge. That is a big battery. The range that it can do is 24 miles, which is 38 kilometers. And that is quite a lot for a board under $1,000. But you know, you never get the range that they spec it at, so stick around because we are going to do a range test and see exactly how far we can actually go on the Meepo City Rider 2. So if you needed to change the battery, that's how you would do it. It didn't take me that long really, about 5 minutes. So it's not a fast swap battery system, but it's not impossible either. While we're here, I'm just going to take a quick look at this ESC. I'm not sure if you can see this. So there is a ton of space around the ESC. Got this nice rubber coating on it, great for waterproofing. It's got a gasket, also great for waterproofing. Sealed on the top, but not on the bottom. Yeah, it all looks pretty good. This is not waterproof, so you're gonna get some issues coming through there, if anything. Aside from that, I'm pretty happy with the way that is. One thing I am super grateful for is all the people that work at electric skateboard manufacturing warehouses, because these things are so particular to put together that having to do this over and over all day would just be so frustrating to me. Let's get back to the board. That was fairly interesting. The wheels are 150mm rubber tires, which aren't pneumatic, so you don't have to pump up your tires. They're always going to be pumped up, and apparently they are the same size as the City Rider 1, but a little bit wider, making it more stable and sturdy on the ground and giving you more grip, especially when you're going over bumps and cracks and even off-road on gravel or maybe some grass. You're going to get more traction and be able to pull through harder. We've got two rear planetary gear motors. They kind of look like hubs, but they come out quite a lot. They're not entirely stuck inside the wheel. They've got this little bit extra coming out here. They look monstrous. They're 2 times 1500 watts, which is a lot of power. And Meepo say that it can get up to 23 miles per hour, which is 45 kilometers an hour. Again, I'm going to be testing that. Most of the time, the top speed on these electric skateboards is pretty bang on, so what they market it at, but we're always going to be testing them to make sure that it is true. But what I'm most interested to see is how these motors go when pulling through off-road types of terrain, because they say that it's a city rider and they don't market it as an all-terrain board, but because of these wheels, you can expect that people are going to take these off-road. I certainly am. That's kind of what I'm most excited about this board. I want to take it on gravel tracks out in the park and on grass, so that kind of thing. Have a little bit more fun with it rather than just street riding. They also say that it can do a 30% hill grade climb, but we'll be testing that as well. The ESC in this board is the Meepo 6.5 CR2 version 33A. So I'm not sure if that's a Hobbywing ESC. Let's turn this thing on, see what we get. So we've got the logo, pops up. Where's the on button? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. That is massive. This screen is so huge. I'll get a close-up of that for you. But from the reviews that I've seen online, this is using the same remote as the Meepo NLS belt. That's speed 1, it says 10 miles per hour. Speed 2, 13 miles per hour. Speed 3, 29 miles per hour. That is a huge jump from mode 2 to mode 3. Speed mode 4. Also 29 miles per hour, but it's probably just got a lot faster acceleration. You can cycle through those modes super quick just by pressing that mode button. All right, and to put it in reverse, you just double click the power button. Be super careful of that because you can go just as fast in reverse as you can in forward mode. So make sure you always know which way you are going. Luckily, Meepo has got a little arrow at the front to remind you which way is forward. So you can change speed modes when you're accelerating. So keep that in mind. If you're not a very confident rider and you're still just trying to learn, then make sure your fingers are way away of that mode button when you're accelerating. Because if you're in mode 2 and then you accidentally hit it to mode 3 where the top speed is much higher, this is what is going to happen. When you're riding, that is going to be a total unexpected acceleration, which you might not be ready for. And for cruise control, you hold down the accelerator and you press the power button once to activate cruise control, and you turn it off by pressing literally any other button. All right, here's an interesting thing. So I put the board into cruise control in level 1, and then I hit the mode button and the speed increased and continued at a cruising pace. Then it bumped up to speed 3 and it increased even more and then stayed at a cruising speed at that pace. So I think it's figuring out the cruise control as a ratio between 0 and the max power of that speed mode, and then when you change the speed mode, it moves to that ratio in that speed mode. Just another thing to be wary of when you're riding at cruise control, don't accidentally hit that mode button because in cruise control, you're not ready for an acceleration bump. So that could be very dangerous. I think the remote is good because it's got a ton of information on here and the speed dial is massive. The remote and the battery level is also huge. You can see exactly what's going on, but it has some safety things that need to be cleaned up, like not being able to change the speed mode while you're accelerating and not being able to change the speed mode while you're in cruise control. But if you're careful, that shouldn't really be an issue. You can change the braking modes by holding the thumb wheel down and clicking that mode button. Just cycles through 1, 2, 3, and 4. To turn it off, hold down that power button, it turns off, and the board stays on. You just one click the power button to turn it off. Now it's time for the best part, and that is doing the test. So we're going to go out and do a range test, top speed test, hill climb, acceleration, and braking test. So you can see exactly how this electric skateboard rides in a real world setting, and to see if this is the perfect electric skateboard for you. So if you think I'm doing a pretty good job so far, then smash that like button, hit subscribe for more e-skate reviews and content coming out in the future, and let's take this thing out for a spin. Alrighty, e-skaters, we're outside. We've got the Meepo City Rider 2. We're going to go out and do the range test, the top speed test, acceleration, braking, and the hill climb. It is a fantastic day today. It's got to be one of the better days to be out on an electric skateboard. I'm going to start in mode 4. Whoa. They're quite loud, these motors. Planetary gear motors are not quite like hub motors. They're a lot louder, a lot like belt drives actually. Not sure if you can hear them properly. Well, these trucks are so wide. they move really, really fast. Kind of feel like I'm on a snowboard a little bit. One thing that I'm concerned about is my feet. I feel like my feet might be touching the back wheels when I turn. That's something I'll keep in mind while I'm riding. It's really agile, really sharp. I'll be interested to see how they go at high speeds. All right, I'm gonna get going now. I'm gonna hit a main road, but I'm gonna meet you at the bottom of the hill where we're gonna do a hill climbing test. We're at the bottom of my favorite hill. If you've seen any of my videos, you've probably seen it before. It's this one here. It doesn't look that steep in the videos, but it's about a 12% hill grade and it's probably about 200 meters long. So I'm just gonna go up it in gear 4. I'll give you an update of how fast it's going at different points of the hill. But here we are, we're starting on the flats. Whoa. I mean, I'm not even flooring it. I am flooring it now. 16 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour. This is pretty much the steepest part of the hill. And it's doing all right. I'm actually fairly impressed by this pace that it's pulling up. It's not like hub motors. It's a lot faster and harder. It almost feels like a belt-driven board. The battery says it's really flat now, but that's just because it's pulling a lot of voltage, that voltage sag. All right, we're pretty much at the top now, so yeah, 15 to 16 miles per hour all the way up. I'm pretty impressed with that. Now that we're at the top and I'm not accelerating, that board battery says it's 100%. So there is a little bit of voltage sag. Just one thing to note when you're accelerating really hard. I want to keep doing the range tests and I'll check in with you guys later on and we can do the top speed and acceleration. So far we have done 4.2 miles, which is around about 6.7 kilometers. And on the remote, the battery still says it's full, which is a great sign. And there's about 5 bars there. So we're gonna do the top speed right here. This is pretty flat out here. If anything, there's probably a tiny little bit of an incline, but hardly anything that's gonna cause this board to have any issues. Let's see how long it takes for this board to get to its top speed and actually see what this board's top speed is. So we're in speed mode 4. To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about these motors. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Pretty hard off the mark. 15 miles already, 17 miles, 19, 20, 24 miles. Oh shit. Getting some speed wobbles. Did not see that car behind me. I'm gonna have to start that again. Okay, round 2 of the speed test. No cars behind me, that's gonna freak me out. I got a little bit of speed wobbles at that time, so let's see if I can control the board a little bit better. 3, 2, 1, go. A little bit sketchy off the mark. 20 miles, 23 miles, 24 miles, 25 miles. $25 it is. Whew. 25 miles an hour. That is 40 kilometers an hour. That's pretty fast, I gotta say, especially for these new types of motors. I've never really been on these, and they're pretty good. They're loud, just like belts, I've said it already, but they are punchy. They've got a really, really strong low end, so they're fast off the mark. I think they're gonna be quite good for all-terrain riding. I'm not gonna do any of that on this range test. I'm going to try and do the range test purely on street. And I'm going to do another video later on to show you what this board is like in an all-terrain setting. So while we're here, the roads are pretty empty in this little farmland reserve. It's stunning. But what we're going to do is the braking test right now. All right, so I'm going to do the braking test just here. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to put a line just here in the video, and that's where I'm going to apply the brakes. Now I want to come down from off the screen at about 30 kilometers an hour, apply the brakes at that line. I'm going to measure how long it takes to stop with this little measuring wheel. Let's get to it. Can you see that? 13.4 meters. So from 30 kilometers an hour, which is 18 miles per hour, it takes 13.4 meters to come to a complete stop. That's not too bad, I reckon. That's a fairly fast speed. Most of the time, you're going to be riding at around 20 to 25 kilometers, especially because that's the speed limit in a lot of countries. That's going to bring you to a safe stop very, very easily. As for the power, it is straight to it. The curve is really smooth, and the hardest part actually comes at the end of the braking curve. But all in all, it wasn't going to throw me off. I actually felt really confident that the board wasn't going to jerk at all. Yeah, these planetary gear systems, so far, so good. Okay, let's finish off this range test. I still have 5 bars on my remote, so now it's just time to cruise around and have a good time. All right, we'll see you at the end. 20.6 kilometers so far, and I have just dropped down to the last bar, and I seem to have lost a little bit of power. It struggles a little bit up hills now. It does get there eventually, but it's struggling just a little bit more than it usually would. So I think I'm probably at the 20% mark. It's kind of hard to tell on the remote whether or not the battery level is based off 4 bars or 5 bars, because the middle bar is actually a B for the board, and the other one's got an R in the middle for the remote. So I'm not quite sure whether or not it's 4 bars or 5 bars. So I'm full throttling it up a tiny little hill, and it is just struggling. I'm actually waiting for it to cut out, because that's what it seems to do when you put it under too much stress and there's not enough. There it goes. Take the thumb wheel off, let the battery reset, and you can go again. I think that's just a safety feature so that the board doesn't over discharge the battery and you blow up the battery. You do not want that to happen. I'd rather the board just cut out. However, I probably don't want that to happen at all either. As you can see now, I am going full throttle and I'm doing 7 miles per hour. It's pretty much at the end of its legs. There it goes, it's just cut out again. All right, I'm gonna head back home on what I've got left of the battery and we'll debrief there. In the end, I got 22.9 kilometers of range, which is 14.2 miles. And I'm pretty happy with that, considering I did all of the tests and pushed the board to the limits. If you're cruising around or you're a lot lighter than I am, you're definitely going to get a lot more range than that. So I don't have too much more to say, but I have been running it for a couple of weeks now. You might have noticed that I no longer have the facial hair. That's why I might look a little bit different from the previous clip, but there are a few things that I just want to clarify. Overall, in a general riding sense, I think the Meepo City Rider 2 is a great electric skateboard. It's got massive wheels, a huge deck, and powerful motors, which makes it a really good commuter board. Because it is so big, it's a little bit cumbersome to lift and carry around, especially if you're taking it on the train or in and out of the car often. Thankfully, it does have these deck handles, which makes it so much easier to move this board around if you need to. Earlier on in the video, I mentioned briefly that I was concerned that my feet might touch the wheels when turning. And yes, they do touch the wheels. This is because my feet are a little bit longer and they hang over either side of the deck. So when I'm turning sharply, the tops of these wheels do touch my toes and my heels. Now I also tested the turning by standing in the middle of the deck and leaning from side to side, and you'll be glad to know that the wheels don't actually touch the sides of the deck. It's just my toes. So you'll be happy to know that if your feet are shorter than the deck width, which is 24 centimeters, then you're not gonna have a problem with the wheels touching your feet. Because it's called the City Rider, I assume Meepo are aiming this board for people who are gonna be doing inner city riding that might have roads that are a little bit less than perfect, hence the big wheels. But I can imagine a lot of people, just like myself, are gonna wanna take this thing off-road. And I think it's gonna be a great little all-terrain electric skateboard, especially with these planetary gear system motors, the big wheels and the thick chunky deck. I think it's gonna do great on grass and gravel. So what I'm gonna do is a completely new video where I test its riding capabilities on all-terrain surfaces like dirt and grass and gravel. I'll do a little bit of a range test to see what it's like, but what I'm mostly interested to see is how well does it do in those settings. Does it have the power to go through grass and dirt and things like that? So if you don't want to miss out on the all-terrain test for the Meepo City Rider 2, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell button so you don't miss it. And while you're there, you may as well smash that like button. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about the Meepo City Rider 2. If I have missed anything or you've got any specific questions, just jump down below and ask your questions in the comments. I answer every single one of them because that's my job. I'm here to help you try and pick the best electric skateboard that's right for you. Thanks for watching, e-skaters. As always, ride safe out there and I'll see you soon.